All right, so Chairman Bernie Sanders went out yesterday to prove once again why he is considered one of the only redeemable members within the endless collection of swamp creatures that we call our government. So Bernie basically went out to stand in solidarity with the ongoing strike that is happening amongst workers in several Kellogg's factories around the United States who are demanding better pay, better benefits, and an end to this two-tiered system that Kellogg's has been trying to implement to basically divide and conquer the workers there. So I'm going to play this video for you guys of Bernie Sanders and what his team put together, basically highlight reel of him speaking directly to these workers, but just to give you a little bit of context in terms of where this strike is at right now. So they just had basically a tentative deal that was reached between corporate and the union representatives that was supposed to be voted on this weekend, and we're probably going to know the results to that coming up tomorrow on Tuesday. So I will let you guys know what the ending vote tally is basically for this union if they're going to accept this tentative deal. But just to give you a perspective in terms of how corporate is approaching this new deal that they put forward, there's actually an email that was leaked that basically shows you that they are being completely disingenuous and trying to stab these workers in the back by giving them a deal that corporate knows full well is nowhere close to what these workers deserve. So here from More Perfect Union, Scoop, a Kellogg's executive sent this email to other members of Kellogg's management bragging about the new tentative deal to end the 10-week strike, saying, quote, "In short, no overall gain for workers with 3 more weeks of strike and no income and no ratification bonus." So basically you see here they're bragging about the fact that they are trying to convince these workers to now vote in favor of this deal that will not actually in a cost benefit analysis way benefit them in the long run. So they're trying to shift these workers, and again we're gonna have to wait till about Tuesday to find out what the end vote result is on this tentative agreement. But hopefully these workers see through some of the bullshit and demand even more from corporate and continue the strike. But with that context being laid out there, let's now hear from Chairman Bernie Sanders as he was going to stand in solidarity with these workers on strike.
If you love America, I've all, come from the Senate, every politician there, how much they love America. They got the big American flags. If you love America, you love the workers. And if you love American workers, you don't ship their jobs to desperate people in Mexico and pay them 90 cents an hour. In the middle of a pandemic, legitimately, you are heroes and heroines, right? You are feeding America. And it is just outrageous to me that the company responds to your sacrifices by saying, we're taking your jobs to Mexico. We're going to have younger workers coming in at lower wages and benefits while they give their CEO $12 million a year, I guess.
Everyone is sick and tired of working every single waking moment of their life. I'm tired. We're all tired. You know who's not tired? That building over there. They're not tired of us working 7 days a week, 12, 16-hour days. They do. They have half-day Fridays over there.
Senator, hey, how are you? Good to see you again.
Hey, Bernie. Welcome.
What's going on here is, in fact, going on all over the country. And I think people all over America are looking at you and saying, thank you for having the guts to stand up for working people.
I won't be silenced when our union brothers and sisters, a third of us, make a third less and taking less benefits than what we ourselves take.
Is that understood that they used to treat people better?
Yeah, I've tried to hammer that through.
Yeah. You got a dad or mom working here?
It's my grandfather.
Grandfather, okay, good. A lot of the country is looking at what you're doing and admiring your willingness to stand up to corporate greed. So, thank you very much. Oh! Do you work at Kellogg's?
No.
Do you make cereal?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you. People.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I had to include that last little clip there with that little girl because that shit was cute as fuck. But listen, in the broader picture, okay, credit to Bernie Sanders for going and literally standing in solidarity with these workers. This is something we should be expecting from every single elected politician, okay? Joe Biden wants to come out here and pretend as if he is this the most pro-union president in history. That's what he has referred to himself as. Now, he's not going out there and aggressively fighting for pro-union legislation like the PRO Act, for example. So he's not even been aggressively going out there and lobbying for legislation that would actually help union workers to protect their unions, and for ununionized workers to potentially form unions without having intimidation or coercion from the corporations. So, if you actually wanted to back it up and substantively support these types of workers and support unions, as Biden says that he does, then you would be going out there and doing exactly what the fuck Chairman Bernie is doing right here. So, again, credit to Bernie Sanders for doing that. But in the broader picture, you see some of the lessons here. Number one, unionization is incredibly important for the reasons that they were basically just outlining here. If these workers didn't have a union, then what the fuck could they do to stand up against the corporation that is trying to make them work longer hours, with lower pay, with worse benefits, basically, and splitting them up into these two-tiered systems where some entry-level workers have to accept even worse pay and worse benefits than so-called legacy workers. And that's the true meaning of solidarity. You're seeing it right here in action, because you have all of these older workers from generations before who have been working at these plants for multiple generations within their family, and they are now choosing to go out, put themselves on the line, stand in solidarity with the new generation of workers who are coming in. So that is generational solidarity if I've ever seen it in my life. And I think that's the overall lesson, is that the only way under a capitalist mode of production, which is inherently authoritarian in its nature, the only way that workers, the working class, has the ability to get some sort of a democratic will heard under that system is through a union representation. So it's not perfect. Me being a socialist, obviously I would want to go much further than just having union representation under a capitalist mode of production, but it's a good first step, because we know the data bears out that representatives or workers that have representatives within unions are much more likely to have higher pay, they're much more likely to have better benefits, etc. So there are direct material benefits to being a part of a union, participating in that, and fighting for democracy in the workplace, not just in a political system. And I remain true to the belief that I've had for a long time now, that having a democratic political system is not possible with an authoritarian economic system such as capitalism. So, if we actually want to build on democracy, as Joe Biden, as Democrats love to pretend, as if they are not, supporting the end of democracy or the facade of democracy that we have left in this country, understand the only way to build an actual true democratic society is starting from the bottom up with things like this, starting from the bottom up by building a democratic economy and getting, especially in the United States, getting us up to some higher level of unionization in this country. That would be the first step. It wouldn't get us to where we need to be, but it would significantly help improve the material conditions of millions of workers across the country. Again, if they win in this union fight, okay, if these specific Kellogg's workers, there's about 1,400 of them that are on strike right now, if they succeed in getting what they want and improvements to their pay, their benefits, etc., that doesn't just help those 1,400 workers, okay? That helps every worker across the country, okay? Because we're all in this together, and if you have higher standards for one group of workers, then that improves the standards for the rest of us. So, all solidarity all around. Credit to Bernie Sanders, and yeah, this is exactly what we need to be seeing much more of.